What is up, you guys? My name is Grady, and I listen to country music on this channel and whatever else I want to listen to. And today, we're listening to one of the biggest stars in country music, Carrie Underwood, who has now dropped a second song from her upcoming album, Cry Pretty. And this song is called Love Wins. A bunch of you guys, as soon as this dropped last night, asked me to listen to this, and I was planning on it anyway, but I'm getting to it now. And, I'm interested to hear what this song is. Cry Pretty, as we've been heading into this album, is supposed to be more about like a real inner look at Carrie and what she kind of believes and thinks. And Cry Pretty was her kind of taking away some of the sort of country music Barbie facade that she's, accused of having and letting us in a little bit more. And we'll see if Love Wins does the same. This song, or that title, kind of brings two things to mind at first. There's Love Wins kind of has two meanings in our culture at the moment. One is like the marriage equality statement of like love wins as kind of a support for same-sex marriage, and then there's love wins as a more general term for you can imprint onto it a lot more easily. It's a general term for like love each other, treat each other well, and people say it in response to whether it's a school shooting, they would say like love wins, or a terrorist attack, they would say ultimately love wins over hate. Or the same kind of phrasing can happen in like a marriage debate. So it has a lot of different meanings. I assume, honestly, it's going to be more the second, coming from Carrie. Michael W. Smith, who's a big Christian artist, had a song called Love Wins like last year. And David Garcia, who is a big Christian music producer and kind of the main producer on her new album, Cry Pretty, is affiliated with this album. And so I have a feeling it's just going to be more the general, broad song. Also, Cry Pretty hasn't done crazy well on the charts. It's been a hit for her and a good comeback single, and I really love it. But I'm guessing they want that kind of old school, like big ballad that people will flock to because that's what they're used to from Carrie Underwood. Something in the style of like So Small or Something in the Water. So a big, broad, inspirational ballad. I think they're going to want to shore up the chances of a really good opening sales week for Carrie Underwood by putting this song out now. That's my guess. Whether it's going to radio right now, I don't know. I assume it would. They haven't been releasing a ton of music from this album. This is only the second thing they're putting out, and the album comes out in a few weeks. So all that said, I'm going to jump into this song. There's a lyric video up, and let's check it out. So it's already reminding me of Something in the Water. So we're starting off already with the shooting. Kind of like I said, Love Wins is often related to those, but she sounds really nice, and it does sound like it's going to be that kind of ballad I was saying. Just another story on the evening news. Politics and prejudice. Everybody's got to pick a side. It don't matter if you're wrong or right. I like that line. If everyone's got to pick a side, it doesn't matter if you're wrong or right. I think the incessant need to take any issue and just say, here are the two sides, you got to choose one, is part of what rips us apart. And so I like this sentiment thus far. That said, we're feeling it's feeling a little Jesus Take the Wheel to me, like a little hokey. Okay, so there's our first chorus. My favorite part of that is the I. I think that sounds nice. It's an interesting little, not run. I guess it's a run in what otherwise is not the most melodically interesting song. Sounds really nice. Carrie's voice is great. You can't take that for granted. How she's belting really well. I just think for me, I'm feeling very like after school special thus far. I was really, maybe I'm a victim of expectations, because Cry Pretty really made me feel like, oh, we're going to get to see some more like real Carrie. And this is very, I don't know, it feels like an American Idol winner song, I believe love wins. And I actually think that's awesome. That she believes that, and I guess I just wish there was like something more visceral than images of mamas and evening news and prejudice and politics. And yeah, it kind of is reminding me of the Sugarland album a little bit. I feel like I'm being negative. Okay, I needed this choir here. Oh, wow. Wow, that got so much better in the second verse. It was short, but we got drums and yeah. Man, we needed the drum set. It's immediately better. Alright. It's very like something in the water kind of choir moment. And the repetition's very preachery. Alright, so that was a song by Carrie Underwood called Love Wins. It was written by her, David Garcia, and Brett James. And I think it's fine. I don't think it's more or less than that. I think it. Let's start with the positive. I think it sounds really clean. And I think almost too clean for the first half. And so I really like when they bring in the drum set instead of like an electronic drum, and they bring in the choir, and it gets a little more percussive in how it's delivered. I think that really adds to the song in the second half of the song, which I enjoyed a lot more than the first half. And I think Carrie sounds really excellent, and I feel like when she's delivering those repetitive lines at the end, not in a bad way, like love can, love will, you kind of get that little bit of feeling of almost like a gospel preacher that's getting fired up like a tent revival, and I think that stuff really worked in the song. So and you can feel kind of her conviction in saying it. Now, the negatives of this for me are absolutely the lyrics. I feel like we're given a vague sense of like we're a broken world, people are fighting, and but like love will win, and it's the cynical side of me thinks that this is a pretty conniving track because it's allowing you to imprint whatever social issue you want Carrie Underwood to be talking about as the one that she's talking about. So whether it is marriage equality, whether it is, gun control, whether it is, the separation of church and state, or theocracy, if you wanted to go the other way, you could say that like that's your version of love, and love's gonna win. And that to me makes it like a little weaker of a song. I don't really know what she's talking about, and to me it can feel a little marketing-y. And look, Carrie Underwood is going for a broad audience, so that makes more sense to do. It just makes it a less interesting song to me at the same time. So I get it, and it's not my favorite thing in the world. Now, I don't know. Here's the other thing. Like, I don't believe that, the world is falling apart at the seams the way that everyone else seems to believe. I just don't. I think we're really catastrophizing our modern time and history, and things I think on the whole just keep getting better and better and better for this world. We are treating each other better. I really believe that. I don't believe all the news. I think we are treating each other with respect and kindness. We continue to liberate one another. We continue to fight poverty and build literacy around the world. There's a cool book called Enlightenment Now by Steven Pinker I think people should check out. So part of me just sort of rejects the kind of general concept of the world of how things are getting worse. That's not to say there are no bad things, but I don't really believe things are getting worse the way that the song sort of postulates. And and so maybe I was just like not poised to really get it, but I do think we're being really swayed by media right now, and sort of like determined to believe how much we all hate each other. And I just don't see that being the case in my day-to-day life. Maybe on Twitter it seems that way, but in real life I don't think it seems that way at all. And I think yeah, so I just didn't really relate to the sort of central sort of setting that the song begins in. Do you all think I'm crazy? Does that sound crazy to you guys? Let me know. Because I think love has been winning for a long time. A long time. In the last, like, few hundred years. So, we got a long way to go. We always do. But, yeah. I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, does love win? Or does, like, you know, the inheritance of property win? Or the ability to read win? Or natural resources in your country win? Or a jobs program win? You know, how do we really make the world better? Is it just love? Or outpourings of love? I don't know. Maybe I'm more practical than that. There's a big logical part of my brain. So, I don't know. I'm resistant to this track. Musically, fine. Vocally, amazing. And lyrically, I think, sort of cheesy and weak. So, this is like the most negative I've ever felt about a Carrie Underwood song, if I'm being totally honest. So, I was really excited to kind of hear more of what Carrie was saying. You know, there's other songs on this album. I'm looking at the track list. Ghosts on the Stereo, Backsliding, the song we used to make love to. Those are the things I'm pretty excited to hear. This is probably going to be the broadest song on this album, and so it's just not the one that, like, a lyric nerd like me is going to love as much. So I give this song 5.5 out of 10. I don't have a ton of negatives other than the lyrics, and you got into my head a little bit as I was talking about the concept. So I'll stop there. You guys let me know what you think, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't attack me. I really appreciate how respectful we are on this channel. So, yeah, that's all. That's all from me, and I will see you guys in a video coming up soon.